Are we gonna start with the click or?
Sure.
And then you're gonna come on, you're gonna get some hate.
In the honor of Fuji.
Yeah. Click, click. Oh wow, that's fast.
Yeah, I have that set for high shutter.
Excellent.
Actually, I have it set also for performance mode.
Oh.
But it sucks a lot of battery life.
Was it really?
Yes.
We just gotta have a second battery.
3, yes, I bought 2 more.
We always start our videos this way, we ignore the audience. Hello everyone, this is Taco from bigheadtaco.com and I'm here with John Lehmann. Hello John.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going good.
It's been a month or two.
It's been a month or two.
Since I kicked your ass, yes.
Oh yes, the contest. Let's just quickly talk about where we are. We're at Studio 126 in Chinatown. And actually this is the place where I'm gonna be having my workshop in a few weeks. But as well, John has his workshop coming up at Revolver Coffee.
No, at Steamworks, April 16th.
Sorry, Steamworks.
Yes, yes.
At April 6th. Okay, so we'll talk about that near the end of the video.
There'll be free beer.
I can't.
Are you giving free beer?
No, I'm giving free bear hugs.
Okay, good.
And a peek into my iPhone for those who want to see. But we'll talk about it at the end. You really free beer?
Yes.
I thought I would shoot. I didn't know what to call this, so I wrote 3 things. Random thoughts with John Lehmann, which we've already showed how that's done. We just did it. Co-vlogging with John Lehmann, or where he at? Question mark with John Lehmann. So I don't know, whatever this is. I just wanted to touch base with you. So it's been a month or so since we shot our last video together, the contest, which you won. Which, no, you did a good job. It seemed like, you know what, we won't use Terry as a judge anymore. He's too nice. So thank you, Terry, for the challenge, but we won't use you as a judge. And thank you for the hats. We're gonna wear hats today, but I think we both love our hair, so we're not gonna wear hats. So one of the things is, I started reviewing. I had the pre-production X-Pro 2 during the winter. You were very interested in X-Pro 2, so I called my friends there. Got you one. How fast did I get it to you?
Wow, I was impressed.
Oh, 2 days?
Within days, yes.
Within days.
Yes.
Fujifilm Canada. So thank you, Helen and Julian and Chelsea and Aling and Matthew and Robert, Billy, Greg, all you guys. Thank you so much for helping my friend here, John, to shoot with the X-Pro 2. So let's actually, you know what? So I'm actually filming on the X-Pro 2 right now, and I have the X70. It was really hard for me to shoot with the X70 when I had that camera. So
I think that's a pretty incredible piece of technology.
It is.
But I find it a little small, a little dainty for me, for my oversized.
Yeah, especially the space here, right?
Yeah.
Not much thumb real estate.
Yeah.
It reminds me a lot of the Sony RX100. It has so much packed in there, but it's a tiny form factor.
Yes.
Right? And people often don't consider that when they consider buying a camera. They just read off the spec sheet. So you've had the X-Pro 2 for how long now?
Since Chinese New Year, just before Chinese New Year. So 3 weeks, let's say.
About 3 weeks?
Yes.
So let's we're not going to talk a lot about it because maybe are you going to do a review on your channel?
Yeah, I already actually did a video.
Oh, you did a short one.
A short one,
yeah.
And I'll probably do. I'm going to Yellowknife next week to shoot the Northern Lights.
Yes. And
I'll probably do a follow-up on my thoughts on the X-Pro 2 there while I'm shooting Northern Lights.
Very good. So have you told me? So 3 weeks. Have you told me anything about what you think about this camera?
Not at all.
Not at all. So this is a complete surprise. We kind of purposely, well, you're kind of a snob. You kind of ignored me, but as well, we're both busy. We've been busy.
Yes,
so I haven't asked John exactly what he thought. So this is the reveal. So what do you think?
I love it. I really do like it, and I think it's something that I would like to spend more time with and use for work. Like it's a serious camera, and it produces serious images with excellent quality. The lenses are fantastic.
Yeah.
The camera.
What lenses did you have again?
I got the 16, which is like a 24, which is really my go-to.
Yeah,
lens.
which actually we're filming on the 16 right now. So thank you for bringing it.
And a 35 f2, which is their new weather sealed one, and it has all the technological advances.
Yeah.
Autofocus is really fast. It's
Yes.
f2.
Yes.
And the 5612,
Yes.
which I haven't used as much, but the images I have taken with that have been really nice.
Yeah, which is like an 85 equivalent, so it's a
Exactly,
nice
yeah.
medium portraiture lens.
Yeah.
You've been using it as a serious tool.
Yeah,
Right.
I've had a number of images actually published in the Globe Mail. Matter of fact, there's one here.
Perfect.
I shot this yesterday with the 16, and it's actually ended up on the front page of the Globe.
Front page of a newspaper. For all you young ones, newspapers, paper news.
And yeah, so I'm sure that's a first for Fuji Canada.
Yeah.
And yeah, I used the 16 at 1.4. So the light's actually very difficult. It's not very low, it's very bright,
Yeah.
but there's 3 different kinds of light sources.
Oh, yeah,
but,
yeah.
But this is almost full frame, and you can see it. It really focuses quite close.
Yeah.
It's
So-
really, it's an amazing lens.
So have you pixel peeped at
No.
the sensor? Have you
It's
know?
sharp.
Yeah, but people talk about do you know about the issue of the waxy skin?
I heard about that. As a matter of fact, did I ask you about that?
Yeah, it doesn't bother me too much. I understand it's how they smooth out the noise,
Okay.
and I don't see it on the X-Pro too.
I have noise actually turned off.
Yeah, well,
And
you
I
talk
shoot
about film,
raw.
you talk about film grain.
I have that turned off.
Yeah, of course. So that it's different than the natural noise as you bump the ISO up to like
Okay,
3200.
okay.
It's because they use a randomized pixel layout, other than the Bayer layout that all the other pros.
I have no idea what you're talking about now.
Anyways, Fuji tended to have more randomized pixels.
Okay.
Right? Like film grain, it's totally random, right?
Right, okay.
Digital is less random because it's like red, 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 blue,
Okay,
blue, blue,
yes,
green, green,
yes,
green,
I'm with
and it
you,
just
I'm with
repeats,
you.
repeats,
Okay,
repeats.
yeah.
And because of that repeated pattern, it creates moire. That funny wave pattern with anything like this, like
Okay.
shirts like this.
Yeah.
There's funny moire. It's
Yeah.
because of that non-randomization. Fuji created their own.
We're wearing plaid, but we are random in color.
Yes, we are. We tend to. He actually texted me to tell me what color he's wearing, so we wouldn't look like twins.
Yes. And you still ended up wearing plaid.
Well, of course, I don't have any. It's either that or t-shirts. So, I don't
Yeah,
like.
I got you off track.
You got me off track.
Which is good.
The X-Pro
'Cause I think
2.
we were boring the audience
Yes.
with the waxing.
the wax on, wax off skin tones. So I don't notice on that. So we know it's
Okay.
sharp.
Yeah.
Now, okay, let's just pretend for the last 3 weeks you did not have this. You would have been going between.
I would have just used my Nikons.
Yeah, you wouldn't
Yeah.
have brought your Leicas to any of those.
No, probably not. No.
Yeah. At times you'd mentioned you would take the Leica because it's smaller, less intrusive.
Well, you know,
could
it's
that replace that?
Yeah, and in some ways well, in a lot of ways this is better actually because they're
Better than Leica?
Yeah, there's time like a couple weeks ago I was shooting inside a church and it was awful. I was using my Nikons and it was so loud.
Yeah.
But like I've just turned on the electronic shutter right now.
Yes. It
Yeah,
makes
I
no,
just took a picture. Just took another
Yeah.
picture. I took another picture. It's
it
amazing.
makes no noise.
As long as there's not people moving around. And
Yes.
matter of fact, yesterday while I was taking these pictures inside the grow up, there was a TV crew there, and they had said, just wait, give us a second, so we can shoot some video without the clicking sound. And I said, you know what? You won't even hear me
Yes,
because I turned
yeah.
on the electronic shutter. So that's already a huge advantage.
Remember the old days when they actually had the blanket over the cameras to keep
the
them?
blimp? Yeah, I actually
the blimp,
heard
yeah.
that a lot of film photographers are now using these mirrorless cameras
Because
for
they're
that
so
reason.
quiet.
Yeah.
So on set.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've already said 3 good things. What things do you think
Okay.
they should change?
I think the battery life is horrific.
Compared to what though? Your
Anything-
DSLRs?
Anything on the planet.
Okay.
Yeah, I think if I was just to use this camera for work and do like 3, I would probably need a battery per job almost. I mean, and
So
when
you would need 3 batteries.
yeah, I think so. Yeah, I like that you can swap out. I meant to bring my DSLR, but I like that you can swap out the AFL and the AEL button.
Yes, which you actually taught me how to do it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and because I actually prefer to have the focus not associated with the shutter button.
Yes.
But that button's really in an awkward spot, and it's a bit too far recessed. So you'll see, like on a Canon or a Nikon DSLR, they'll have a focus button right where your thumb rests, and it's a bit more pronounced so that it's easier to press. And I wish it had that function here. For some weird reason, and I actually bought 3 different shutter remotes and still couldn't get it to work.
Mechanical one.
Yeah, the old manual one that goes in here.
Threaded type, yeah.
And then 2 different kinds of electronic ones
Yeah.
because I couldn't get an exposure longer than 30 seconds. There's this odd idiosyncrasy with the Fujis. You have to put it onto single shot mode. So you have to remember to take it out of multiple continuous
Yeah.
exposure or continuous shutter, whatever
Yeah.
the term is,
Yeah.
and move it over to single. So I thought that was really weird.
Okay.
And then, okay, the battery indicator is hopeless because it goes
'cause it's
from
3-bar.
It goes from
2 to 0.
okay. It goes from like full to
Yeah.
okay to like 0 in
Yeah,
like a second.
very fast.
I missed a really nice photo the other day.
Okay.
You know, because of that. Continuous autofocus is
I know, it's not where the DSLRs are at.
frustrating. The single shot is really good
Yeah.
in low light.
Yeah.
It's really good, but the continuous. Oh yeah, I know a lot of people say they really like this mechanical manual
yeah.
ISO thing.
Yeah.
I don't. I find it really hard to use and to change, and maybe I've just become used to using this sort of electronic way of
Pressing the button in and
changing, like on, you know,
Like
it's
having
that way on a Leica, it's that way on a DSLR, and I find this, especially if you want to use a thumb grip, I just
I
find this
see.
really hard because it's really small. You know, I almost have to.
well, you know, if you do that, you could just watch your screen change too, right? You don't need to
Yeah.
look at
So those, you know, I don't think I mean, those may sound like things that really annoy me, and they do, but you know, no camera's perfect. And-
every camera annoys you at some point.
Yeah.
There's some feature that annoys
And
you.
it doesn't mean that I wouldn't use this camera going forward.
Yeah.
But this camera has a lot of wins.
Yeah.
I really like, I'm not a huge black and white guy, but I really like their new black and white
The Acros.
film simulation. I think it's excellent.
Yeah.
You can just go straight out of camera to your phone and post it and just
Yeah.
add some contrast.
Yeah.
The OVF and EVF, electronic viewfinder and optical viewfinder, are amazing.
Yeah.
I do find, I mean, one of the things that I really did like about this camera is that it does have an optical viewfinder, and I thought I'd be using that all the time. But I actually find that 90% of the time I'm using the electronic shutter.
EVF is really good in that, isn't it?
Or using the electronic viewfinder,
Yeah.
which I'm disappointed in myself, but when you're using that 24,
I think 28 is the widest it
Yeah.
can be used functionally.
with the 50 you're not losing anything.
No, yeah.
Sorry, I call it a 50, but they
The
call
35.
it 35.
Yeah.
The ergonomics are pretty good.
It's not DSLR good, but it's better than
It's
Leica.
not bad. I think if I might just get a little grip if they ever make
Yeah.
one, which I'm sure they will, just because it just cuts into my palm a bit.
Yeah.
The buffering's really good.
Yes,
The way it's the multiple-
DSLR level, you think?
No, but it's really good. It's
Yeah.
good enough. I
Yeah,
mean, if you're taking more images than that, then you probably should be getting you're probably shooting some kind of sporting event. You should probably get a DSLR.
Yeah.
I love that Adobe and Fuji are somehow working together, and they
Finally.
now have all the film simulation presets in the not only Lightroom but also the Adobe converter.
Yes.
Like, I don't personally use Lightroom, not a big fan, but big fan of Adobe's Photoshop and their converter. And it took me a while to find, but they do have all the film presets in there.
Yeah.
And as you
I didn't know about that either.
yeah,
So
and
that's great.
if you as you look through the images that are coming in front of you now that Taco's edited into this video, all those were processed with the Fuji presets, and the ISO performance is very good.
Yeah.
I think 6400 is kind of the ceiling. I
Yes.
know they say they can go higher.
Yeah.
And I did use 12,800 and it was acceptable.
Yeah. It's not like a monochrome 246, 12,800.
No.
Nowhere near that.
But 6400 is a pretty good ceiling for me for what I do.
I shoot at 3200 in the day. Actually, I think right now the video I'm shooting at 3200.
Okay,
I
yeah.
consider that like my happy place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I recommend this as a buy.
Yeah, it's
I'm thinking like 4 to 5 stars. I think it's
4 to 5.
You know, and I do find this camera, and this may be weird to say, but I do find it like it does want me to, I do want to go and be creative with it, you know, because it's just, for me, like my DSLRs are heavy and it's not always fun to carry around, but yeah, this, I can just, like if I'm just walking around Steveston where I live with my kids, like I bring it with me. And
Where you wouldn't do that with your DSLRs?
No way.
Maybe with your Leicas.
Probably not.
We still like Leica.
Yeah,
We
love
still like Leica. Please continue sending us review
I
stuff.
would normally just whip out my iPhone. I could definitely see using, maybe purchasing this camera and using it for work.
Work and personal.
Yeah.
And you can write part of it off.
Oh yeah, I'd write the whole thing off.
So for myself, I purposely did not bring, we're filming with the X-Pro 2, but I purposely brought this because, as I mentioned in my other video, it's hard for me to shoot with this when I have that. But I like this. It uses the older processor from the X100T and the XT1, the XE2, but it's tiny and it's leaf shutter. I know you're not leaf shutter is not a big thing for you, but for street photographers shooting discreetly on the street at 1/32nd power, you could shoot the shutter speed 1/4000th of a second, daylight fill. And people don't even notice that you're taking their picture. Or even if they do notice, it's so unintrusive. It's not like a Bruce Gilden style street photography, right? So I like it. I found that when I had this, I loved it when I was with my wife.
Right.
And with my nieces and nephews, you can do, here, let's do a selfie here. Actually, you know what, I have it on manual focus. Maybe it's not the best here. So let's just, there we go, ready? There we go. So you could do selfies on a tripod. When you do group shots and you use your phone to remotely trigger, you can actually frame stuff very well. Or if you're doing video like this, you can actually have it on a tripod and you can frame it. So I see a lot of good uses for it. We know quite a few people that are ex-GR shooters that immediately ran out and bought them. I'm gonna be doing a review with them. We won't reveal who they are, but they're loving it. And I know other GR shooters that don't like this camera. They're sick of the GR, so that's great. It's polarizing, but you know, this is kind of a niche market camera, and you're gonna polarize people, right? They're gonna go one brand or another. So we'll see how much hate we get for the Leica versus Fuji and this versus Ricoh.
Well, I think Leica needs to step up their game. So tell me about your workshop.
Well, you're my guest. You tell me about your workshop.
Okay.
It sounds interesting. You call it the 5-minute portrait.
Yeah, so this is my third workshop, and it's actually the one that's been requested the most.
Yeah.
I don't know how fast you're posting this video, but it's already half sold out, so that's
Oh,
really
excellent.
good. Yes.
Excellent.
It's going to be held at Steamworks in Vancouver's historic Gastown.
Yeah.
There'll be lunch and beer, as already mentioned, but more importantly, the content.
Yes.
We will be looking at quick and dirty portrait setups with basic lighting. We'll look at natural lighting, and we'll look at artificial lighting. So
Like ring lights?
yeah, could be. I don't know. I'm trying not to reveal too much, actually.
Well,
but,
because I'm going to reveal a little. I'm going to put some inserts about what you were doing in Hong Kong.
Okay.
And I didn't see you because my producer's with you, but that was fantastic. I mean, that's basically, in principle, partially what you're going to teach, right?
Yes.
Is these
We're gonna,
quick.
I'm going to look at. I was originally going to call it the 5-minute $5 workshop. So I was going to take go to Korean Tire, buy a couple of $5 flashlights and just do a portrait with that. Because in these modern cameras, as we just discussed, the high ISO is so good now.
Yeah.
You don't need much light to take a picture with.
Just a little bit of flat, a fill or something, right?
Yeah, so even just a little LED flashlight. Quick and dirty portraits that you can use professionally or with your family. So that's the sort of basic sort of genesis of the workshop.
Yeah, and for mine, I'm actually doing it here, and mine's more of a, I don't want to call it lowbrow, but I mean it's Instagram. I tend to, for myself, because you're a professional photojournalist.
Hey, there's nothing lowbrow about Instagram.
No, there isn't. But what I mean in terms of is like, you don't need a professional camera. You don't, either you're using your smartphone to take your pictures, or you're using a proper camera and uploading it. It doesn't matter what you're using. I initially was going to do a entry level, but I find that I was getting a lot of inquiries for advanced, because people want to know how I post-process. And I think even you and I, our pictures from Hong Kong, some of our best pictures actually came from our smartphones. Don't you think?
Yeah.
Pretty much, I think. And it's not because they were better cameras, it's because they were always there and ready for us, right? So my workshop is going to be based on that, is how to post-process, how to manage your Instagram account, how to properly use hashtags, how to tag people, how to do collaborations. And it's more the advanced features of Instagram and how you can, even Instagram theory, like why are you using it and how can you use it as a brand accelerator, as a business, or as a photographer, or just even as an enthusiast.
Well, it's really, I wish I could go, but I'll be in Palm Springs, so sorry.
Thank you so much for dropping in. So don't forget as well to subscribe to John's YouTube channel.
Which he'll put a link on.
I'll put a link.
The X-Pro 2 video.
X-Pro 2 video
which
down
you can
below.
then like and subscribe, please.
Like and subscribe as well. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you for joining me on this Where We At. So this is where we are at this time, and we will talk to you soon. Happy shooting. We're gonna end off with a click. So thank you so much for watching from Chinatown City 126, and we'll talk to you soon. Click.
I didn't click. Oh, it's electronic shutter. That's why there's no. There.
Click.
No, I'm gonna
Click.